Hey guys, HerbQuest here with another audiobook. The title of this one is The Fossil Island Research Notes. It is found on Fossil Island, can be obtained in one's player-owned house if ever lost, or from the lead navigator. And the way you complete this book is by adding pages to it, which you obtain from the house on the hill in the little chests where you have to pay 100 numulite, and you have a random chance at receiving a scribbled note. Actually, the notes have many names. Some of them are a scribbled note, a smelly note, a tarnished note, etc. And you use these pages on the book given to you at the end of the quest, Bon Voyage, and it fills the book with these pages. I believe you also end up writing some of the book yourself as you explore Fossil Island. To my knowledge, this is the complete version of the book, although it might not be, and JJX might add more to this book as more expansions to Fossil Island are released, so I may end up doing another version of this book if more is added to it, or if I find out that this is not the complete version. But I believe that it is complete right now. Hope you guys enjoy. Fossil Island Research Notes. Information and Things I Found on Fossil Island by HerbQuest. I helped put together some of the researchers' camp today. They aren't very competent at construction, it seems. Plus I had to make it possible to use the barge to bring all the supplies over. What would they do without me? I seem to have found some really old fossilized stuff. I'm not sure what it is yet, but it sure got the museum staff excited. They said I should clean it like I did the ones in the museum. It wasn't too difficult, though I did scuff a few bits. I'm sure the museum folk won't notice though. Wow, today I found some really weird mushrooms. It must have been some kind of transportation system in the ancient past, but it's still working. This will make it much easier to get around the island now. Today, I discovered a way to row around the island. It was hard work, but rewarding as I now have some way to get around quicker. Went diving today. There's so much under there, it's going to take me a while to discover everything. I did see somewhere that looks like a good place to grow seaweed, though. There are massive clams and sunken treasure chests down here just waiting to be plundered. The problem is, there's a really strange mermaid who goes about her sister, and I have to collect tears. Tears! Underwater! Whatever next? The following are some notes that I found from one of the ancient structures on the island. It looks to have been inhabited by a creature far larger than a human, but I have no idea what it was. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Similar to that observed in the birthing pool, the spore on this island have the potential to inhabit the host, creating a symbiotic relationship between fungus and creature. I have witnessed this firsthand. The young are deliberately left beneath colonies of the spore until they pass out, choking. A violent affair, but one I have grown to understand is necessary. Perhaps my own concerns of the treatment of Subject 1 were invalid. Pain has its place in the needs for advancement. I have been impressed how quickly my creatures have evolved. The others will have to listen now. Again, the similarities to the Garrick are so frequent, there must be an academic explanation. Several have formed territories based on the spore colonies that inhabit them, and the mutations are consistent based on geography. Much like ourselves, it was only a matter of time before a divide formed. The zygote experiment and its effects on location could be explored here if the spore colonies could be removed in part. Part of me is jealous of the union. I feel alone. My work keeps me sane. I have noted that my language or beauty of writing has improved tremendously since being alone, the opposite of what would be expected. I enjoy the flourish of description as opposed to the blunt, practical methods of my education. It eases my mind. There is nothing a mother wouldn't do to ensure the safety of her children. Despite several attempts, I have failed to find a way to encourage the spore to inhabit my own body. Ingestion, airborne saturation, each leads to involuntary, forceful expulsion and hallucinogenic stupor. Permanent damage will likely follow if I continue to experiment. A miraculous discovery today: a pool capable of rapid calcification. One of the young stumbled into it, looking for refreshment. The look of terror in its eyes chilled me to the bone as its soft tissue got rigid. It reached down to free its feet and drowned in its own solidified saliva. Its body serves as a powerful marker of the dangers of this island. We have witnessed such things before, but never at this rate. I discovered more eggs today, deep beneath the surface. Smaller than the first, but white hot, the color not diminishing when cooked. What am I to do? Release more for research, or hide them so they may avoid the fate of the first? I am torn. He must not know. His arrogance cannot save us. I believe my presence here is causing unrest in the creatures. Whilst at first they kept distance, they are beginning to display violently towards me, no doubt linked to the growing conflicts between their tribes. Perhaps I am a trophy to prove dominance. Nevertheless, they are not yet evolved to penetrate my skin. Is this chemical warfare? Observations recorded today included a bizarre sight: a spore clump, used as a weapon of sorts, which blinded and paralyzed. I must be careful. And with that, we've reached the end of the Fossil Island research notes. And usually when a book ends with "I must be careful" or "I must investigate" and there's no future entries, usually that's a sign of something that happened to the author, whether he's or she's captured and needs help somewhere, or whether the author is actually dead is unknown. So that leaves a little bit of a gap in the lore, which I find interesting. It leaves a lot of room for future expansions on Fossil Island, like if we ever get to meet the authors of these old notes. Being that these notes are fairly old, though, by this point in time, the author may have simply passed due to time, but it is unknown what happened to the author of these notes. Also, since Fossil Island has a lot of mushroom species on it, I almost wanted to put a trollish sort of suggestion out there to make a spiritual realm that we could travel to by having our character ingest perhaps a large amount of a certain type of these mushrooms to sort of resemble the real world use of psychoactive mushrooms in real world settings, tribal uses, etc. And this could open up a new plane that's not on the map. It could physically send our character somewhere in the game. And it wouldn't be really new to RuneScape, or I don't think it'd be controversial at all either, because the Dream Mentor quest and the Lunar Diplomacy quest involve a sort of spirit journey or dream quest where you ingest a goutweed potion, because it appears that goutweed has some psychoactive properties to it in the game. Maybe some sort of brew with some of these new mushrooms combined with goutweed and perhaps some other herb, maybe a jungle herb like snakeweed that's involved with the anti-poison effects of the Sandview serum, or Rogue's Purse, for instance, could also be incorporated in such a brew to access a new realm within the game. And also, I think that'd be a unique way of teleporting to that realm. You just drink a certain thing somewhere. Or maybe it could be a ceremonial room like the Dream Mentor place, because like code-wise, the potion stand in the Lunar Diplomacy area is in a long hall, so it's like a teleportation book, sort of like one that's in your player-owned house, but only it's in the form of a potion. So code-wise, I don't think it'd be a problem. Lore-wise, it definitely seems interesting. I only really see it being as controversial-ish for American players, but it's like a UK game anyway. I think they even have like festivals still around the Liberty caps that pop up, so I think it'd be a fun little addition to the quest. A little bit of culture in there with psychoactive mushrooms. I only brought this up, by the way, because the author did experience a hallucinogenic experience when interacting with these mushroom species when he was doing his experimentation. So that idea of a new realm somewhat fits. I don't know, just an idea, guys. Well, I'll see you soon. Hope you guys are looking forward to the Dead Man Mode content tournament coming up, then seasonals right after that. I'll have my plans out there in the progress video, unless I put that out first before these two books. At any rate, guys, I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I'll see you soon. Peace. Oh, I almost forgot. One thing I found really interesting was the calcification pool that was mentioned in this book. That kind of leaves room for the possibility that these aren't fossils, but rather a recent, like, dump into this pool to discard a bunch of old species from these experiments. Maybe failed experiments got dumped in the fossilization pool, or the rapid calcification pool rather, which would turn them into fossils rapidly. So these creatures could still be lurking about somewhere potentially if the whole of the archaeology team is mistaken in this island being so old. This could be active to the NPCs that reside there. But maybe I'm wrong, maybe it is an ancient island and they are real fossils, but that rapid calcification pool makes me raise speculation as to how old these bones really are that we're finding on Fossil Island. Feel free to get a discussion of any theories going in the comments if you guys want. I'm willing to take a listen to them. Alright, peace for real, guys. Actually, one final note. Sorry. But in the story, they mentioned how the spore was used as a weapon that blinded and paralyzed. I think that this could be perhaps room for a new weapon. It works perhaps in a similar way to venom, or maybe even some sort of new type of poison that consistently hits 10s right off the bat and then goes down from there like regular poison. Sort of like how the Kuambuan poison works from Taibo One Eye Trio, that quest. You know how you can make the poison version and then cooked version. It's like the combo food. And the poison version makes something KP, and it's the same poison that's on the Spears of the Tribesmen, which hit 12, but yours only ends up hitting 6 after you do the quest and make the stuff. So I was thinking maybe this could be something similar to that, where it's like half the strength of Venom but works instantaneously. I don't know. Maybe it could be room for somebody to suggest something. So if anyone wants to expand on that, feel free to snag that idea and run with it. So, yeah, that's it. Peace, guys. Legit.